This Amanda why he will irregularities as fish prices. Look on how local fish farmers are struggling to abate the situation. Thanks and welcome. Is a prominent businessman and car dealer in Douala, and making arrangements for his late father's funeral. Bonga sustained several injuries in the attack, according to reports. Now, despite multiple efforts to save his life at a hospital in Bafoussam, he gave up the ghost yesterday. Living in the country. And so the fish taken a different turn situation.
Sylvie, a fish vendor and smoker, has been scouting various markets since 7 a.m. in search for catfish. Faced with the scarcity and rising prices of other fish species, she has switched her focus to this type. Fish is scarce. We can't find it. We try to search in fish shops. When it is available, the price is high, and when we get to the market, we can't sell. Across the economic capital, Douala, fresh fish has become a luxury, forcing many households to explore alternatives.
I
used to buy 20 kilograms of fish for less than 30,000 francs CFA, but today it costs 35,000 francs. The increase is really high. Right now, I have turned to chicken instead. My household is not satisfied with the fish I buy now. Our husbands are suffering the consequences. We are forced to budget at least 5,000 francs to 6,000 francs to feed 2 to 3 people a day, which was not the case before. According to vendors, the price of most types of fish has significantly increased, resulting in slow turnouts. Previously, we used to buy a carton of fish for 27,000 francs, but today it costs 45,000 francs. Everything is expensive in this country. Vendors also noted that even locally produced fish pose challenges further complicating the market situation. As the economic climate worsens amid a general hike in food prices across the country, fish vendors are holding out hopes for better days ahead.
Meantime, fish farmers are grappling with the host of challenges, of course, from unsuitable quality of water for the use and unadapted equipment, of course, with limited financial resources. So they are struggling to make sure they bridge the gap in the production chain. More indeed takes a look on how they are grappling with the situation.
In Douala, fish farmer Canal Israel highlights the stark realities of the sector. After years in the business, he says the demand for fish far exceeds production, which he attributes to several factors. The lack of adequate material to produce popular fish types like tilapia and carp remains a major challenge. He also notes that water quality is often unsuitable for fish farming, compounded by the absence of proper equipment to test oxygen levels and maintain the necessary conditions. Additionally, the high capital required to produce on a large scale is beyond the reach of most farmers.
Assez d'outils, de matériel pour tester la qualité de l'eau, ce qui fait qu'on rencontre un peu parfois quelques mortalités.
The regional delegate for fisheries and animal industries is aware of these issues, acknowledging the hurdles facing the sector.
Because they cannot sell. There's no specific market for freshwater fish. I think we have been trying to plead with the local authorities, the councils and so on, so that space can be given to the ministry.
Meanwhile, fish farming, seen as an alternative to boosting Cameroon's fish production, is yet to bridge the gap. The statistics remain glaring, with local production falling short of meeting the growing demand.
Needs are estimated about 5,000 tons, 500,000 tons annually. About 280,000 of those come from our fishing, that is industrial and artisanal fishing.
Fish farmers insist that government's intervention is crucial. They are calling for financial support to modernize the industry and improve output.
Le gouvernement puisse mettre la main sur la patte pour booster la pisciculture.
You know that the different financial laws have exonerated equipment and a lot of material that are used in fish production from value-added tax and custom duty. You know, those are measures to encourage investors.
At the same time, the government is urging more Cameroonians to invest in fish farming to address the country's supply deficits.
Thanks very much, Maureen D. And business executives in the country have expressed concerns over the declining standard at Cameroon's airport, urging for immediate improvement to it or on its infrastructure and services. And despite some of the progress that have been made, many people still remain still complaining of the falling standards of the airports in Cameroon. Ambo Gladys takes a look after the Cameroon's employer cartel, JECAM, published a report that is considered very damaging.
Travelers arriving at the Douala International Airport, one of Cameroon's business hubs, often encounter discomfort due to several persisting issues.
La lenteur dans la distribution du bagage pour récupérer le bagage.
There are delays in luggage retrieval and the process is quite slow. Occasionally, there are issues connecting to the Wi-Fi.
Tout est okay.
Others highlight the physical strain caused by the airport's layout.
Quand je parle de passerelle, c'est
The airport has longer walkways compared to others, which can be strenuous for passengers carrying heavy hand luggage. The heat inside is overwhelming and air conditioning is urgently needed.
Je vais pas dire c'était manquement, mais c'était lenteur.
These complaints align with concerns raised by the Association of Employers in Cameroon, JECAM, which recently issued an open letter to the Director General of Airports of Cameroon. JECAM pointed to problems such as outdated facilities, inefficient baggage handling systems, and a lack of modern infrastructure. While some travelers acknowledge progress, they agree that much remains to be done.
Douala Airport has seen improvements in recent years compared to airports in Congo and the Central African Republic. However, there is still much to be done.
I found the airport very clean. That's the first thing. It's very clean. The staff are very friendly. It's very, very hot. The air conditioning, I think, would help the process a lot. And then, of course, maybe more signs for direction.
The business leaders warned that these issues could harm Cameroon's economic competitiveness by discouraging international airlines, investment, and tourism. It has therefore called for urgent modernization efforts. As of now, the management of airports of Cameroon has not issued an official response.
And we move over to Yaoundé, where there is an awareness-raising campaign that has been launched on the risk of antimicrobial resistance. And this conference opens in Yaoundé. Of course, it is to help reduce the more than 4.9 million human-related deaths, and of course, the human-related deaths, and also to manage the quantity of antimicrobacterial use globally in the food chain. Beatrice Ngamu takes a look on this resistance.
Antimicrobial resistance, AMR, occur when microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites change over time and become more resistant to antimicrobial medicine. This makes infections harder to treat and increases the risk of disease spread, severe illnesses, and deaths. Antimicrobial resistance is one of the pressing issues of our time. The clear target and action by global leaders as agreed at the UN General Assembly high-level meeting was to
reduce the estimated 4.95 million human deaths associated with bacterial resistance annually by 10% by the year 2030.
Strategy to this effect effectively requires coordinated action across the human, animal, plant health, food chain, and the environment.
We still use antimicrobials as growth promoters, and we need to educate farmers, professionals in the field about the danger of these practices, and we need to go for other good practices like enforcing the biosecurities at the farm level, ensure that we are controlling transboundary animal diseases through vaccination.
The Yaoundé Week is to advocate and create this awareness on the dangers and risk of antimicrobial resistance, to share efforts being made and address the gap to tackle in the future. Having a one-house platform will be one of the greatest achievements to this effect.
National action plans that have now been developed by all the countries is the next step, working with each country so that we can implement what is in the National Action Plan.
This 2024 World Antimicrobial Resistance Awareness Week is under the theme Educate, Advocate, Act Now.
And we turn now to forensic medicine, which is a field which is at the crossroads as the forensic pathologists play a critical role in the law or in legal matters. And of course, they have to uncover the causes of some of those suspicious deaths around the country. Maureen D talked with some of these pathologists and now report.
In Cameroon, there are 20 forensic pathologists serving the entire nation. This highly specialized profession is accessible after obtaining a certificate of specialized studies in forensic medicine. These professionals are called upon by the judiciary to assist in the pursuit of truth, making their role indispensable in legal investigations.
Société camerounaise de médecine légale a des conventions avec l'African Society of Forensic Medicine, avec qui nous avons fait le congrès panafricain au mois de mars ici à Douala.
Forensic pathologists operate under oath, ensuring that their work adheres to strict ethical and legal standards. Their expertise spans a variety of critical tasks, including conducting autopsies, identifying causes of death, and providing medical legal consultations.
Quand je parle de légitimité académique, pour moi, ça veut dire avoir un diplôme en bonne et due forme de médecine légale.
In addition to investigating fatalities, forensic pathologists are also involved in the field of medical legal victimology, focusing on cases involving living victims of crimes. Since November 1, 2007, Cameroon has had its own scholarly society dedicated to forensic medicine. According to tradition, each profession in the country is allowed only for scholarly society, but discussions about establishing an additional group are underway. The National Medical Council and relevant authorities have already been informed. As crimes rates and criminal acts rise, the demand for forensic pathologists continues to grow, highlighting the urgent need for robust scholarly society to support the profession. These specialists remain crucial in the fight against crime and the pursuit of justice.
And Elecam is gearing up ahead of the 2025 electoral year as officials are meeting in Yaoundé to review irregularities, with the final list expected to be published by December the 31st. And so they will now open the register, according to Hyacinthe Chair, from the 1st of January 2025. Details.
At the traditional coordination meeting of Elections Cameroon, today, November 19, 2024, the 2025 presidential election is at the center of discussions.
Particularly to prepare the forthcoming election of 2025. The element is that at the beginning of the year, we launched the revision of the electoral for 2025. And also we follow the set of our biometric material so that we are sure that we have no problem, and particularly to be ready for 2025 presidential election.
This meeting provides an opportunity for ELECAM delegates to take stock of activities in different regions. Chaired by the Director General of Elections, Eric Esose, stakeholders in the two-day working session are also focusing on processing software for elections.
Afternoon defeated Fires 2025 and the march took place at the Yaoundé Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. Fires 2025 and the march took place at the Yaoundé Amadou Ahidjo Stadium, with of course animated with score at the 23rd minute. Zimbabwe reduced tally by 1 at the 73 minutes. So far Cameroon finished on top.